Hey guys, so I was asked in the live stream yesterday to make a quick video about Warrior and the stats you want to be going for, and basically a general overview for Warrior, Nature Warrior in particular. So I thought what better way of doing a show off for my Warrior other than doing rune trials. So this is the 18 million CP requirement boss battle. All 4 bosses. And yeah, basically you guys get to watch me do this while I'm talking about the class. And then at the end, I'm going to show you guys my stats and where I'm at in the game and what I'm working on. Alright, so general overview is you want crit rate, which is going to be mostly through your runes. So you have the 5% crit rate rune on all your attack abilities. The ultimate seems to, for a short duration, stack with your other skills. So ulting into your first skill or whatever you want to do is going to stack up that crit. So at some point you'll have roughly an additional 10%. And then you're going to be looking at, let's see, your other stat for more offensive abilities is going to be crit damage. So you're going to want to be getting this crit damage up as high as possible. Note that crit and crit damage should be looked at for all classes, not just warriors. And now we're going to be looking at, let's see, Pierce. So Pierce is good. You roughly want around 5% to get Pierce to be proccing quite often. So you can get that through whatever means you see fit. Generally, if you're working on sanctuary gear, you'll get Pierce rate pretty quickly. And then after that, you're going to be looking at, for offensive gear, attack, P attack, nature damage, or if you're some other element, that type of element. You want to have mastery at roughly 100%. Going a little bit over 100% mastery is not bad, but having under 100% mastery, that's your choice. But I would say aim for 100% mastery. So you just roll mastery on some of your gear and you'll get there pretty quickly. And then after that, we're looking at strength. So everybody who's thinking about main stat strength, well, you're going to be looking at getting your strength as high as you can. I personally don't like rolling strength on my offensive gear. Now, if I do roll strength and it's red and it's high, then yeah, I'll keep it. But if I can roll something better, I would go with anything better. Better being crit, any percentage. So crit damage, pierce, physical damage increase by a percentage. Honestly, that physical damage, even if you have it on just one item, it's going to be a huge damage increase for everything that you do. So try and get that physical damage percent increase. Damage bonus percentage increase is also really good. Basically, any percent stat that's offensive, you definitely want it. Now, let's go from talking about that to defensive gear. So defensive gear, what I sort of aimed for was a little bit of stun resist, a little bit of damage reduction, and a little bit of class damage reduction. Now, my cross server, I am lucky to be fighting G all the time. So gunner damage reduction was basically a must. For him, he has warrior damage reduction. His is at roughly 45%. Mine's at 32%. I only have it rolled on one piece of gear. So he has it on 2 pieces of gear. Look, I just completed that challenge, so now we're going to go into the next one, and we're going to try and fight the first boss, because I realized, oh yeah, if I can't beat one of these guys, I'm not going to be able to collect rewards every day. So this is me going in to fight the next little mini fight, and I do not have health potions on. So we're just basically doing this with everything that my character is built around and not relying on health pots to heal me. Alright, so I talked about defensive gear. One thing that I do think is pretty important for defensive gear is rolling strength and even rolling dex. Dex gives you more attack, gives you crit rate, and gives you some defenses as well. Strength is attack, P-def, and damage reduction. I believe, I forgot what the third stat. I just know it's one offensive stat and two defensive stats, where Dex is two offensive stats and one defensive stat. Go to your stat page, it tells you. Just click on details, it will tell you. But yeah, so that's defensive gear and offensive gear in a nutshell. As far as runes go, I did cover the fact that you want crit rune. So after the crit rune, you're going to want execute. So execute increases your damage to targets that are below 30% HP, which is good for PvP and also PvE. It means when you're on a boss or a mob or anything. Look, I just beat that guy, so we're all good there. Boss or mob, anything, you're going to be increasing your damage. Now, I'm about to go into showing you guys my stats and gear so I can give you more of a direction. The third rune that you guys are going to be wanting to get is going to be whatever you want, really. I'm going Berserker Runes. I do not have a way of weakening my targets yet. Next week, the event, the pet comes out, and I'll be using that pet to weaken my targets around me. Here you guys can see my stats. Pause the video wherever you want so you can sort of see what stats I'm at. I got 305 crit damage, 8% crit rate, and almost 4% pierce rate. And then I have 9,400 nature damage and 130 mastery. And then I got a lot of defensive stats, resistances, resistance against crit, and then we got P damage resistance of almost 20%, magic damage resistance of almost 16%, and then if I'm disabled, there's damage reduction. If basically those last few stats. Again, pause the video if you want to really look in detail on that at the spots that you want. Here I'm just quickly clicking on all my gear so you guys can see what everything's rolled at, and you guys can pause the video where you want to pause it. Sorry, it is a little fast, but yeah, it's just a general overview. And then we're going to be looking at my cycle tree. So my cycle tree, I run Equilibrium. I run Equilibrium on everything. Right now I am running a red and blue because it gives me that extra hit rate. So in PvP, I'm not being dodged. And then also in PvE, I'm never missing. Basically, you want to be over 2% hit rate for PvE. For PvP, you want to try and get your hit as high as possible. I have hit rate rolled on my emblem and my gloves for an extra 4%, plus the additional slot there in the red tree to counteract the negative hit rate. So I just quickly clicked over all the abilities so you guys can see that. Again, pause the video where you want to see it, and you can slow it down however you want. Now, for pets, I am playing around with the Guardian pet because it's broken. The active ability seems to be stacking in the background, so every time you click on it, it's giving you more and more damage. That's definitely not as intended and probably should be fixed. And I'll probably continue to use it because everybody else is using it currently. So until it's fixed, I'll use it, or I'm probably going to replace it with the weekend pet next week. Lugia is definitely the number one pet to be using. Otherwise, Valkyrie is a great damage going. I just recently got my artifacts up, so they're all level 18. I'm rocking Havoc, I'm rocking Venom Crossbow, and I'm rocking Genesis. And Genesis is almost fully maxed. I just need to get the third tier up to 5-star, and then I'll have the last ability for Genesis. And yeah, 5-star red is the current cap to the artifacts. It looks like in the future they're going to be increasing that, so that's something to think about. I basically got one all the way up to red, and then I sacrificed everything and replaced them all, and then I just did all of them to 18 and then ended on Genesis. And that's how I did that. All right, so what's next? Jewels, basically they're all at level 10 and 9, and I'm slowly working on that. Every Monday I upgrade them. All right, hit and crit and attack are the main stats you're looking for. Defensive stats, I mean, everything's there for you. You're a nature warrior. Here I'm comparing my overall CPs against Jinx and then Barry, so you guys can see the numbers, and then you can even pull up your character and compare my stats to your stats for the CPs, and you can get an idea of how that's playing out. Note that Jinx and Barry both can kill me in 1v1s. So even though I have a huge CP increase over them, they are very capable of killing me. Barry just rolled her weapon to crit damage, crit rate %, and then thunder damage, elemental mastery, and then more crit. So she's definitely got a very nice weapon. And then she's also got her Valkyrie to 4-star because she got really lucky and drew 2 Valkyries at the same time. And then we're going to be going over my runes. So important thing to note here is in my attack, the cooldown reduction, which makes it so your basic attack has a 5% chance to do double damage. Very important. And then in all my other abilities, I have a Berserker rune, a crit rune, and an execute rune. And pause it wherever you want, but you guys can see that breakdown. And then third skill, same exact breakdown: crit, berserk, execute. Defensive rune, I have the heal, the shield, and then increase my damage by 5% every time I use this ability. So the shield and the heal have a 20-second cooldown, so stacking those runes on dodge and defensive isn't beneficial. The ultimate, I unlocked a 4th slot, so I have execute, crit, berserk, and then I increase the damage of it by 5%. I'll probably put on the red version of that soon. Dodge, I have speed, and then I have block rate, and then I have increased damage. Note that block rate rune actually increases your block rate to 1,000% currently, so you're going to block basically everything when you activate it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helps. See you in the next one.